Hi, okay, so today we are going to talk about telling a new story. And this is part of shifting your identity and creating a new identity. And it all begins with talking about and telling the new story of who you are, the healed you, the healed you. You are healed, your body cooperates, your body is at peace, it's calm, it feels great, you feel great in your skin, you feel happy and joyful and at peace, right? So let's talk about the story that you're currently telling. And it's an important story. That's why you keep telling it over and over and over. Not maybe you've stopped telling it to every person you meet. Maybe you've stopped telling it to all these random people. But it is the story that you tell yourself, the story that lives on inside of you, the story of what happened to you, why it happened, what your symptoms are, all the bad things, everything, right? It is the story. It's the story of your illness. And you definitely have a story of your illness. It's the story that you talk about, and it's the story that you think about, and it's the story that's rehearsed so many times in your mind that it's basically it's memorized. It's an easy story to tell because we've already told it. We have the words for it. We have the memories for it. We have the feelings for it. When we tell this, it's easy to think about. It's easy to tell. It's easy to hold on to because it's familiar, right? It's familiar. It's a story that has been programmed into our mind and our subconscious by the retelling and the rethinking of it. So, okay, so take a breath. So we're going to talk about this. So you definitely have a story, the story of your illness, how you got it, all your symptoms, how they've destroyed your life, what is exactly going on, why you're no longer capable of all the things that you're no longer capable of, how it's making you sad, depressed, angry, guilty, ashamed, all the emotions tied to it. So you have this massive story. And it's the talking about the story and the thinking about the story. When you tell the story, and this is something, if you end up doing my consultations, it's very important to tell the story. And let me tell you why. From going back and from chronologically telling all the emotion, everything that we have about this story, knowing the story, hearing the story again, one last final time, all the details in full color, right? And then we go back to even before the story, to your birth, and we tell everything, right? This is the story in your memory that you have, the big, the little, the obscure, anything that you've given meaning to in your life in a bad, significant way. And these are the exact things that you need to let go of. So first you need to tell the story fully, completely, hear it, see it, feel it, all the aspect of it, all the emotions of it, every single thing involved in it. And then you have to make a decision. And that decision is not to retell the story anymore. Meaning, if we talk about our story, we think we're giving a historical account of, an accurate historical account of the facts and what happened and the emotions that we used to feel and the emotions that, what caused us pain and what happened and everything around it, right? We think we're telling this historical account of how it went down, accurate events, snowballing situations, and we think we're just simply telling this. But what we're actually doing is this is not a historical account of what's happening. When you tell the story, you are creating your future. You're creating what is now. So every time you relive the story, that you retell the story, that you think you're giving us the facts about the story, you're actually giving us the facts about the future. What will be? What are we holding on to? What are we thinking about? What are we seeing? What is going to become true in our reality over here is what we talk about back here. So you need to tell the story of who you are now. And you're saying, but the facts are now, I have symptoms and I feel this and this is what happened. No. You need to tell the story of you are now. What is this true story of who you are now? It's the actual story that you want to become. I'm healthy. I'm at peace in my body. I feel good. And you're saying, but I don't. I feel incongruent with that story because it's not true. I don't feel truth to it. But every time you look inward, every time you say, no, but this is, you think you're telling a fact, but you're actually holding on to the vibration, and you're holding on to the story that keeps the vibration and the story going and pushing it into your future. So you need to, at some point, and this is what we work on in the calls that I set up, but you don't have to wait for the call, although it's helpful, but you can do this yourself. You need to see the story. You need to hear the story. You need to see all the emotions attached to the story. You need to realize that this is an emotional story, not a factual story. You need to see how your mind has created this and how it is basically manifesting the story, and it continues to manifest the illness in your life through the focus in the story. So at some point we need to take a breath once we've seen the story in full visual color and say, this is not my story anymore. This cannot be my future. So therefore it cannot be my story anymore. And you need to create a new identity. You need to create the new identity that says, I feel good. I am healthy. I love my life. I have lots of friends. I am great at fitness. I'm super active. I'm back to work. I have lots of money. I feel good. I feel calm. I feel satisfied. I feel thankful for this journey. That's a big one. I feel thankful for this journey because it led me here to the greatest comfort and peace that I could know. I feel it was helpful for me, and now it's over. It's behind me. It's over. I'm so thankful it's over. I'm so thankful I'm here. I'm so thankful it's all behind me. And we only talk about from there forth the story that we want to create, the person that we want to become as the person that we are. And it may feel false because your mind keeps bringing you back to the facts of, but I have this symptom, but it's not true. I feel this happened, and blah, blah, blah. That is a story, and that is a pattern, and that is pulling you down and pulling you back. It's pulling you back, and anything that's back is just a memory, just a story, not even current. And anytime it's pulling you, feeling incongruent, like you're feeling like it's not true, you have to try to get in the truth of it. And that's why I say every time you're having a good day, every time you're feeling good, every time your symptoms are subsiding, you have to say, look, it's true, it's healed, I'm better, I'm over it, it's behind me. And you have to start to feel the vibration, to live from that vibration, to live from that story, because ultimately life will test you and it will say, but, and it will pull you back. It will give you a symptom. Something will happen. It will try to pull your attention back, your memory back, to have you say, to fall back. But you don't want to fall back into what you've already created. The only way you can create something new is by talking about something new. So, from here forward, you have to only talk about, so you have to abandon talking about your symptoms. You have to abandon nurturing your symptoms. You have to abandon coddling your symptoms. You have to abandon acknowledging and caring for, and just you can care and acknowledge your emotions, because that's what's being trapped in your body anyway. You can feel your emotions. You can feel what is right now. What do I feel right now? Feel it. But then you say, I want to be this other way. I feel you, and I'm choosing to talk about this. I'm choosing to be this. I'm choosing to go forward as a healed person. Like, this is it. I'm healed now. And you have to start to tell yourself this over and over and believe it over and over, because then you will start to attract more of it. You will start to live in vibration more with it, and attract more of it, and become more of it, and call more of it into your existence. And even though you may have the facts, but you aren't healthy yet, but you aren't healed yet, but you do have symptoms, but blah, blah, blah. You really have to abandon that thinking because it's just the old thinking. It's the old story. It's the old pattern. It's the old way that this story has held you captive and holds you a prisoner in your own life. And so you have to be willing to cut the strings, to turn away from that and say, no, that may be true, or at least try your hardest. And yes, you can only talk about what you want from here forward. It's often harder to stop the thoughts, but the more you talk about what you want out loud and stop telling the old story and start only telling the new story, the easier it will be to finally